Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is a screenwriter's rant on Oregon Trail. I, I, I'm very confused by some of the trailers. I watched about a dozen different trailers, and man, I can't find one halfway decent with a story. This is the closest thing I could find to something to pick apart, but like, man, it's still kind of vague. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Heart in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 11. I'm more coherent in the book, I swear. Okay, so Oregon Trail. Is this supposed to be like the Oregon Trail? Montana, 1870. No, I guess not. Oregon Trail. Is it supposed to... It's a Western, but it's also a horror movie. And so it starts... It's mainly a Western, and then they don't explain who the main characters are. It's kind of hard to discern who's the main character. But some cowboys come across some bodies. Not sure why, what the context is. It's 1870. There is another town with bad men in it. I guess they killed them for reasons. Did they kill them for their organs? I don't know. And then this woman tries to kill herself by jumping into the frozen lake. This guy saves her, and then he's like, what are you running away for? And she says, the devil. And then this is her in an earlier scene trying to find her family, who I guess she discovers are all dead. And then there's a conflict between cowboys and like this guy, and I guess he shoots this guy. I don't know. And then there's this couple. Not sure their deal. But it all seems like a standard Western until this shot of a guy with no skin who says creepily, I'm home, or something like that. Like, honey, I'm home. I forget what he says. I don't know. Something like that. I'm home. What is this? I mean, written by Megan Turner, directed by Michael Patrick Jan. I don't think I recognize any of the actors in it. Someone with the last name of Applegate is related to Christina Applegate, maybe? Olivia Grace Applegate, maybe. Doesn't particularly look like her. With Clay Bennett and Sam Trammell, who I guess are bigger names in this genre than I realize. Is that Applegate? I don't know. Is that Applegate? I don't know. It's just, man, I don't know what's so hard about making a straightforward trailer just telling us what the damn plot of the movie is. Again, you don't have to give it away. Just give me the basics. They were on a trail. Oh, we're on this trail. It's terrible. We're all dying. They encountered some bad men. Oh, there's some bad men. They were cannibals. Maybe they're cannibals? Like the Cannibal Cabin movie that I looked at the other day? I don't know. Let's see if there's anything in the description. Nothing. Nothing, of course. It's a thriller. They bill it as a thriller. Why does the guy have no skin at the end of this thing? That's another thing. Like, you throw that in the final shot of the trailer. Like, you watch this and you're like, oh, this is some kind of Western. Horrible things happen to people in the 1870s. And then at the end, it's this guy with, like, no skin going, honey, I'm home. That's a completely different movie. That's a movie like, I don't know, Hellraiser or something. Like, if you start with that, then I'm like, oh, okay, this is a horror movie. Unless you're telling me, like, he's got no skin, but he somehow survives that? Or it seems like a supernatural take. Like maybe it's a Western vampire? I don't know. I'm really just guessing here. I shouldn't have to guess that much at a trailer. I don't think. Again, you don't want to give the whole damn movie away. I mean, I remember seeing the trailer for Far and Away, the Ron Howard movie about Irish immigrants moving out west, starring Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. And literally the entire movie's in the trailer. Go look it up yourself. You'll see the entire movie. You don't have to see the movie. Just watch the trailer. That's too much. What you want in a trailer is to give me an idea of what the movie's about. Basically, Act 1, Act 2, and then you got to leave up Act 3. That's why we go see the movie, for the big payoff at the end. So, what is this movie about? Well, it takes place in 1870 in Montana. I can tell you that. A bunch of people go out to the west, I guess, and they get caught up in a snowstorm. A bunch of them are horribly murdered. Some cowboys try to help. Some other bad cowboys are there. I guess they go at each other, and at some point there is an evil entity with no skin. Perhaps the guy who eventually, I don't know, maybe he gets killed by the bad cowboys and then comes back to life to avenge the murdered people. And then in the end, I don't know, he's a vampire, he's a spirit. I mean, that would be key in the movie if that's the case. Like, let's say it's some, I don't know, curse that causes him to come back from the dead to avenge his friends. Right? Or avenge everybody. Or he's a vampire. I don't know why. I'm leaning towards vampire. Some kind of vampire type ghoul creature. He becomes that because they kill him in an evil way that, I don't know. Or they do some sort of ceremony on him. I don't know. It's just, there's nothing here. It might as well be in random order. Like there's no. This to me is a terrible trailer. Have, you know, Montana 1870. You might as well have left that out. It doesn't matter. Like, what piece of that information does me any good? 1870. Okay, well, I know there's certain weapons that aren't there. I know it's in Montana, a state that's basically empty, about as empty as it is now, as it was then. I mean, what does that tell me? Oh, it's in Montana. Oh, that tells me a lot. It tells me a lot about the stories and the characters and why they're killing each other. Just tell me what the friggin' movie's about. Even if you do a simple voiceover. It's a Western about an unknown horror. Like, at least give me that. What are you going to make me do research for? What do you got? I got to go to the IMDb to see the synopsis there, if it's even there. Let's go see. Let's go see, because the movie can't tell me what it's about. What the hell's this movie called? Oh, Oregon Trail. Okay. There it is. 2023. See if there's a synopsis here. Appears to have lots of blood. Okay, here's a synopsis. A young Abigail Archer, alone in Montana winter during the 1870s, who fights for her survival and to retrieve her one earthly possession, a family horse, from a gang of bloodthirsty bandits. What? That's the plot of this movie. You're telling me this is the plot of that movie? This isn't even a full sentence. This is how bad the synopsis is. A young Abigail Archer, alone in the Montana winter during the 1870s, who fights for her survival and to retrieve her one earthly possession, a family horse, from a gang of bloodthirsty bandits. That's not a proper sentence, I believe. I believe that's an improper sentence. It should be, there is a young Abigail Archer alone in Montana during the winter. It should really be two sentences, quite frankly. But it's called Oregon Trail. Why is it called Oregon Trail? That doesn't make any sense either. Is it supposed to be the Oregon Trail? Why are you going to make me do research? Why? Oregon Trail. Is this based on a game or something? There's the IMDb. Horror film. The Oregon Trail horror movie actually looks pretty good, or at least pretty fun. What trailer did you see? Did you see a different trailer? I mean, it's just a bunch of random shots. So this is the Oregon Trail. Okay. I guess the movie follows a family making their way northwest through the Northwest Territories when they're overtaken by a ruthless gang of outlaws. The gang kills all but Abigail, who escapes but is lost in the Wild West to survive her pursuers. It seems that most of the movie will be about Abigail's desperate attempt at survival, but the trailer does end with a little tease that there might be more than meets the eye to this brutal gang or the horrors of the Oregon Trail. The movie's called Oregon Trail, so there's probably a lot more blood and guts in this trailer leds on. See, they don't even know what it's about. What is the big secret? I don't get it. I don't get why you would keep this a secret. Well, at least I know who the main character is now and kind of know about the movie. But I had to go to 3 websites for it. That's what the trailer's for. The trailer is to tell me what the movie's about. Abigail Archer. She's on the Oregon Trail. I don't know why you call it the Oregon Trail. Is that supposed to be funny? It doesn't make any sense. Death in the Wild West. Something like that. I mean, it's about her trying to get her family's horse back. I mean, you could name it after the horse, I guess. That would be something. If the horse's name was like, I don't know, Bucket. Bucket's Revenge. Or the Bucket's Guardian. Or something like that. Something like that, which would imply, I don't know. I just pulled Bucket out of the hat. I'm very upset with this trailer. Bucket, call the horse whatever. What's a good horse name? I don't know. I don't have horses. I mean, it's a horse name. I'm trying to think of a famous horse name. I could at least go with that. I don't know. I can only think of race horses. I don't know. If you named it after a dog, like Joan wouldn't be a good name for a horse, but say it's called the Joan, like call it Joan's Revenge. That's probably the wrong name, but like Joan's Guardian or something. Something to do with the horse. If that's the main thrust of this thing, and then this horror thing at the end of the trailer, honey, I'm home. What the hell is that? And you might be saying, well, you seem very intrigued by it. No, I'm angry. I'm angry and frustrated because I don't know what the movie's about. Am I going to watch the movie? Absolutely not. It annoys me. Now, somebody might come to me and say it's the greatest movie ever made. You got to see it. That might turn me around. I don't know. But it seems stupid to hide what this movie's about. I don't know why they cut it like this. It's just a bunch of scenes. Western scenes. They're not awful scenes. Give me a voiceover. If you're just going to cut a bunch of images together, give me a voiceover. Something. Abigail is trapped in the Wild West and must survive on her own. There. Okay. That is at least something. That is at least, okay, there's a woman alone in the Wild West and she has to survive, and it's going to be a bloody time. Oregon Trail? Is it a corrupted version of the way they said Oregon Trail? I guess. So, first act, Abigail and her family go out west, get caught in a storm. She gets lost in the storm. When she finds her way back to the camp, they're all dead. They're all dead. Some cowboys find her and save her, I guess, but she ends up with this woman in the trailer, and then I guess she gets captured by the outlaws at some point. I don't know. That would be, in Act 2 would be like the fallout from the death of her family. So then she gets brought to their town or camp and escapes, and then the outlaws are after her, or she escapes and then ends up in this town, and then the outlaws come to this town looking for her, because there's the one line in the movie is, we have to go get her. She could lead people right to us. I don't know what that even means. in 1870 out in the wilderness, out in the frontier. So she's going to lead who back? Who? We don't even know. Are you implying that there's like a SWAT team out in the Montana in the 1870s? I think you're pretty safe, dude. But anyhow, I guess he's worried they'll bring back lawmen to kill his gang. So then they go to town to try to get her, and then the town puts up a fight, and it's a big bloody mess, which at some point ends with one of the characters, I believe the character that saves her from the ice, either getting killed or horribly injured, and then going home without his skin, and then greeting his wife with like, hello, honey, I'm home. For some reason being incredibly creepy instead of going, oh God, I'm home, but this is what they did to me. Is that it? I don't know. So frustrating. And you cannot imagine looking at like 10 different trailers, just one after another. It's like, what the hell is this movie about? What happened to voiceovers? What happened to voiceovers? Here it is. I'll just play it without sound. There it is. Like what? That looks like Freddy Krueger. It looks like Freddy Krueger. This is obviously like a slasher western thing, but you don't see that. This is the guy that saves the woman, by the way. So I guess he turns into Freddy Krueger. I don't know. Does he turn into Freddy Krueger at the end of the movie before we get to see him go hog wild on the Outlaws? At least there's some gunplay in it, I guess. I mean, it wouldn't be totally out of my wheelhouse. Horror western? Sure. But show us something. Give us a hint. I mean, anyhow. I'm going to relax. That's it for me, Tony D. and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. If you can find a more bass take than that, take it. I'll be at the Monroe Free Library tomorrow from 10 to 4 for the Meet the Author Book Fest. And then on Sunday, I'll be at Village Idiot Brewery at 2 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. We'll see you.